Hey guys, Yummy here again, and today I'm bringing you another episode of my series in which I talk about what I believe to be the best loadout for each map. And today it's on Caspian border as suggested by Paolo on my last best loadout video. Just remember guys, if there is a map that you guys would like me to do, make sure you put it down in the comment section down below and I'll definitely consider doing it. Now on the first round I was trying out different stuff and it just wasn't really working out. I was trying to do something different than what I usually use on that map because that is way too similar to the other best loadout videos that I've done. Usually it's a PDW with the Magnum 44 as a sidearm, and I think I've already done that like twice in two other best loadout videos. So I was trying to find another kit that was working out a lot better, and I tried support and that didn't work out. So then I finally decided to go on to recon because I have yet to do a best loadout video with recon because I'm just not a big fan of sniping, but especially since the spring patch where they completely changed how sniper rifles work, it actually made this a lot more effective than before and it ended up being pretty awesome. So I chose the recon kit, and for a primary weapon I chose the CS5 Macmillan, the British sniper rifle that used to be a total piece of crap when it came out with, I believe it was the Dragon's Teeth DLC. It was really terrible for a long time. It just had a really slow bullet velocity, a ton of drop, and even though it had the one-shot kill headshot capability at long range, which it had over the Scout Elite, and had one of the fastest fire rates of all the sniper rifles, it still was extremely terrible in terms of compared to the other sniper rifles like the J&G 90 and the SRR 61, which everyone uses because they're so amazing, and even after the patch they're even more amazing. But now since the patch, this gun was so much more viable because it has that 100-meter zeroing, so you can actually hit guys without having to raise way above their heads or way in front of them anymore. So it made it a lot easier to kill people than before. So I was able to make a lot more use out of the fast fire rate and the medium range effectiveness of this gun. You guys will still see me missing shots over and over again because I really honestly don't have that much experience with sniping in Battlefield 4, at least compared to medic and engineer class, just because it used to be so much more difficult, and honestly you don't get that many points out of it unless you're nailing headshots across the map, and it doesn't help your team out very much because most of the time you're just sitting back and not going after objectives, and that's not something that I like doing. But since this changed, since the sniper rifles have been revamped and this gun is so good at like medium range and such, it made it a lot easier for me to play aggressively and still be effective. And that is a good idea for this map, I found, is aggressive recon because of all the hills, all the rocks and trees for cover. It makes aggressive recon extremely effective. But I still miss really easy shots over and over again. A guy's like standing still, so of course they hear the shot and they run, and I completely screw up and I should have gotten the kill. But every now and again my opping from Counter-Strike kicks in and I'm able to get a few clutch kills in a row. That makes me feel really awesome about myself. But for the most part, my sniping in Battlefield 4 is average at best. Now onto the sidearms. You guys have heard me say it a million times, sidearms are really personal preference. It comes down to what you're really comfortable with, but I wasn't really interested in using a hand cannon because I'm using a sniper rifle, so it makes them kind of superfluous because they're kind of meant for sniping basically with pistols. So I like getting a nice powerful semi-auto pistol, so I went with the 1911. Every once in a while I just feel like using a different pistol. I'll use the 45 compact, I'll use the CZ75, but this round I just used the 1911 and it was just as effective as I had hoped. Now for gadgets, I went with the C4 to take care of some of those pesky tanks on this map. I wasn't really successful in this pursuit ever, and I really didn't pursue doing it that much because I was just focused on playing the objective and such, but honestly, the tanks can completely change how a game turns out on this map. If you don't take care of them, they can run all over you and just completely wreck your infantry, so the C4 is vitally important. Also, I went with the PLD binoculars, the infrared binoculars. Usually I would go with like the spawn beacon or something like that, but I don't really use the spawn beacon. The distance between flags on this map are minimal, so you really don't need it unless you're like camping in the tower and just want to respawn up there fast, but that's not something that I do, and that basically just makes you a scrub, so yeah, I don't really do that. And also it really helps with target acquisition on this map is using the PLD, because it can get hard to see guys every once in a while when they're under the trees and behind rocks and such. They can really blend in well, so the PLD helps point them out to you. For a grenade, I went with the M67 frag grenade because I don't use anything else, honestly. It's just the most effective grenade in the game to me, and it's just the one that I find myself using all the time because I think it's the best. So I'm not ever going to really use anything else unless one of them gets a major buff, unlike the flashbangs, which are just broken. For a field upgrade, I went with the offensive field upgrade perk just because that's the one that I use. I like the offensive field upgrade perk, and some of the other field upgrade perks for the recon class just aren't interesting enough to me. There's nothing about them that really draws me to want to use them. So there we go, that was the extent of my loadout. I had a lot of fun using this gun. It was pretty hilarious, especially if I go on a nice kill streak with it, because of just how funny this gun is, because of how fast you can shoot it and get one-shot kills with it. It's actually a lot of fun to use now. It's way more fun than before the spring patch, whenever it was actually just completely useless. So I definitely recommend using this gun, just basically on whatever map you feel like, but on this map it definitely works as well. So there we go, another map down and many more to go. Just remember, if there's a map that you guys would like me to do next, just put it down in the comment section below. And if you guys like this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, this is Yummy. Goodbye, and good hunting.